No, Tony, I really appreciate you coming on with us today. Everyone, we've got Tony Yee from 87 Movers. And Tony, thank you very much for being on.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Jeff. I appreciate having me here.
Got you. Well, tell me a little bit about, let's just kind of start some basis out for Las Vegas. How long have you been in Las Vegas? And being a moving company, I know you're traveling all over the place, but I know your home base is right here in Vegas.
Yeah, it certainly is. Born and raised out of Reno, Nevada. So we're from the north, myself and Kathy, my fiance. So I came here in 2012 and she came here in 2013. She was finishing her degree. She was going to be an accountant. I was going to become a banker and thought, you know, once I was at Barclay Card, that was where I was going to spend the rest of my time. And obviously it's not.
Well, so talk a little bit about that now. From banking to a moving company, explain that transition a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So I was gonna climb the corporate ladder, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna have to make some numbers because I'm a pretty analytical person. I'm an overthinker, and this was the type of job for me because I could go ahead and convert these people to help them out with balance transfers to help them out. So in another life, I'm actually someone that's helping you out with finances, and I thought that's what I was gonna do for the rest of my life. However, one thing that I couldn't stand was, well, it still is the corporate culture. I just don't think I'm a good fit for it. In fact, when I was there, and there are good leaders there, so I'm not going to name any names, but I will let you know that I found myself not being a fit because I was too defiant when we got a lot of tone deaf emails like saying, "Hey, Anthony Jenkins, you got an extra $4 million a year." Okay, Barclay Card is number two for JD Power and Associates for best customer service, but none of those things really affect my paycheck. And I even asked, I was like, well, when do I see this bonus on my paycheck then? And I've even been kicked out of those type of meetings where I said, Tony, this is not the right place for that or near that or that. So I just said, okay, well, it doesn't really matter to me. Let me just go back to my desk and I'm going to call up these customers who are on the fence of getting approved for their credit cards, and I'm going to also offer them balance transfers. My numbers have always been pretty high because I care a lot about whatever job I do, and it was a pretty good job. In fact, I got paid high enough that we're able to afford our mortgage because me and my fiance, um, we have to work together as a team. Housing is really expensive right now, right? And
Oh,
uh,
all
it,
over.
it's kill,
I
it's
mean,
killing my generation. So I'm a millennial. I'm a proud millennial, and I'll let you know that I'm not an average one either. So we made sure to get our place back in
what is that
2000.
average millennial, if I can ask?
Yeah. So average millennial is like my friends and like my colleagues that are at age 29 to 39 or age 40. So we grew up in the 80s, or and then through the 90s we were watching Pokemon. We saw the change becoming the internet generation. So that's what a millennial is, and we also went through the 2008 crash, and we are seeing inflation at a rate that our parents, the boomers, don't. And our parent boomers, they're always on our butt saying, "Hey, why are you transferring to different hospitals, or why are you always changing jobs, Tony?" I mean, but they don't understand that that gold watch that my dad has talked to me about, that stuff doesn't exist anymore, right? So when you don't have that gold watch program where you stay for 40 years, which my dad had a gold watch from the post office, by the way, too, and and I respect the hell out of
Right.
my dad because he actually owned a Chinese restaurant from the time that I was born to 8 years old. And then at 10 p.m., he would go to the post office to work another 8 to 10 hours. This is a 70 to 85 hour per week worker. And after he sold the restaurant when I was 8 years old, he continued to work there until he finally retired. And he was one of the last people that got the gold watch. And so that's something that I would never understand unless I was able to explain to you by showing you. And I wish I had a picture of it because he's very, very proud of it for sure. A lot of people came out for his retirement because he was such a big asset there. I think like more than 50 people for his retirement party.
I think a lot of people can resonate with your gold watch theory, your gold watch stories, and the difference of those days, those long being with the company, long term benefits, all those things. I'm psychologically unemployable, so I'm not a corporate guy at all. But even if I was, you you certainly understand all of the abilities that technology has created to be much more creative, not necessarily locked down to just one corporate type career, desk career, 9 to 5, and all that stuff. So let me ask you this: getting into into the moving industry, what was the catalyst for that?
Okay, well, going back to Barclays real quick, they didn't think I was the right person for them either. So eventually, I got fired, and I wasn't really surprised. In fact, they tried to go back to every single little bad thing that I've done for the 3 years that I spent over there, which I guess the bad thing I didn't do was to lie, cheat, and steal in order to get to these promotional ranks. Because my dad, who I respect a whole bunch, he taught me that if you work hard, keep your head down, and you're honest, and good things will come. And I think they did. I really believe so. I just don't think that I had the stuff in me to go out and do those type of things, to to be what they wanted. So once that happened, I was like, okay, well, I guess I wasted time going to school to do financing and doing anything that has to do with corporate culture. So I should do something different. I looked at blue collar industries, and that's where I worked at Opportunity Village next. And eventually, after getting fired from there, where I was there for a few years, I was doing logistics, but I didn't get paid as much as I did at Barclaycard. In fact, I had to give up my weekends. That was one of the things I had to go back to. And then I also did something I haven't done for like 10 years when I was a young man doing serving tables. So I did that. I couldn't emulate what my father had done, 80 hours a week. I could do 60 hours a week. I could do 70 hours a week sometimes too. It was so early when I got up that the sun wasn't up. And then after I got off work, the sun wasn't up either, and so we did that for about
Right.
a few
Hustling.
years. Yeah, right, exactly. And so my take on it is, whoever's listening to this and you want to be an entrepreneur, I think you need to try to work 60 hours plus per week. If you're able to do 60 hours plus per week and you do it consistently and you don't burn out, entrepreneurship may be for you, because it's different from being an employee where you clock in and you clock out and then you're done. There's a lot of things to be done um, that I'm sure, just in your industry as well, Jeff, that you could tell me. But we're always working. In fact, we don't even go to sleep till like 1 or 2 a.m., and then we have to wake up early, make sure that everything is going to go right, make sure the customer's happy.
Yeah, it almost leads me into my first real question that
Mhm.
I've wanted to pose to you for the past couple of days here leading up is, you know, can you walk us through your decision making process when you're hit with a challenge? It could be family, it could be personal, health, work, professional. I know we're talking about it all, but what's the process for you?
Well, the process I look at is, hey, I need to calm down, slow down, and see what is going on all sides of the matter. So you know how the saying goes that it takes two to tango, right? So let's say it's a problem that's within my ranks over here at 87 Movers. Maybe it's this guy Caleb, that's my right hand man. He's the one that's being pictured right now. Maybe he's having issue with one of my new guys. Well, he cares a great deal about this company. He's been here for 3.5 years. He's helped me build this. So I have to first of all go to his subordinate first and said, "Hey, what's going on? Okay, I want to hear your side of the story." And then I have to make sure that I'm in full listening mode. This means that I'm reciting everything, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever it is, in my own words. And if I'm wrong, they'll correct me. They'll say, "No, Tony, G is not correct." So, oh, okay, which one is it? Oh, so it's that. Okay, well, how'd that make you feel? And these are men, by the way. These are blue collar men who are pretty honest with you, but they're not used to having their feelings out like that. So when you make them this vulnerable, it means it takes a great deal of trust, called leadership capital. It's not something that men are willing to do unless they trust you. But we're a culture of trust, and if we're unable to attain it in a certain amount of time, maybe it's not us. Maybe it's you, or maybe it's us. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, we're very patient and we make sure to get those solved. And then remember, there's two to tango, right? It could also very well be our crew leader. So we're going to go and pull him aside and said, "Hey, I want to know what's going on your side." Okay, well, listen, I heard what you said. Can I tell you what was said on this side from this new guy? And of course, because he knows the drill, he's going to say, "Yes, Tony, let me see what's going on." Oh, okay, so it's like that. Oh, it's because I didn't apologize for this reason. Well, sometimes that could be the very reason, and I would say that through just listening, and just spending a couple hours, it's going to save a lot of headaches that take about, that lose an employee, that lose someone that's not going to trust us in the future, and it's going to be less money for us to be in the. Uh, I can't think of how to say it. Maybe you could fill in the blank for me there, Jeff.
Well, you mentioned leadership capital. Speak and you can kind of talk to the audience here. You gave a tremendous 20-minute presentation in a group we're both a part of, Spark, and
Hmm.
here in Las Vegas, and you spoke about leadership capital. Expound on that a little bit and how important that
Yeah.
really is. You talked about patience as a virtue, but what other components apply?
Okay. Yeah. So leadership capital, to sum it up, it's a type of currency, but it's non-arbitrary. So
For sure.
you can't hold on to this and said, "Hey, this is $100 of leadership capital." It's not the way it works. It's a it's basically like having a leadership say, because nowadays in 2023, you can't just demand people on what to do. You can't micromanage and you can't bully them into doing anything. People have a lot of freedoms now, and also the men and women that work for you as an employer, they have a lot of options. And this is what would shut down a lot of businesses, is when they try to go with the old ways from the 70s and 80s and possibly even 90s, where you could just tell someone what to do and be a big jerk about it. So what you have to keep in mind is, if you keep it respectful, and as long as you're coming off as someone that cares, and they feel like you care, then you'll be listened to. Because one of the sayings is that, people don't care what you know unless you know they care, and that's part of it. So
Good
something that
point.
would be very expensive
Yeah.
for leadership capital would be like, you would say, "Guys, I need you to hand me all your cell phones right now and put it in the locker. No one's able to have a cell phone on them during this move at all. No way." So what you're doing is you're making all your guys mad at you, because what if an important phone call needed to be happening, like, "Hey, my wife is about to give birth. I have an emergency. I want to take a picture of this load, or I got to take this
Sure.
picture." So, and then now you have to get permission from it, and you just basically got someone to look on a job market again, and that's not what we're used to. Because I have four core guys that have been with me for 2+ years, and this man right here has been with me for 3.5. I want to make more 3.5 year men, and in the workforce, like I said earlier, this is not the time when people are about gold watches. I doubt that I'll have a gold watch person here in 87 movers, but as we get closer, I may go ahead and reconsider that. Maybe we could bring old school traditions back, because in my company, good behavior gets rewarded and bad behavior gets consequences.
Well,
And
maybe make it 10 years.
yeah, yeah. At 10 years, I heard about someone giving a $20,000 a bonus for someone doing 20 years. I mean, so what about $10,000? It's not within the realm of impossibility. So as long as they're willing to work with us and grow with us, because I'm not going to have someone be a helper for only 10 years. You better be elevating your skills, because in my company, I also have expectations. I don't want you to be at the lowest rank at that point. You better have learned baby grand pianos. Oh, I have a 30-year-old veteran. Actually, no, he's been doing it off and on for 30 years, but 17 years is what he has so far. He's one of my older guys, and this guy doesn't know how to stack, like playing Tetris is what that's called. And I was like, okay, well, if you roll with me, you're going to learn how to stack. You know other
Right.
skills that we lack, so you teach us that, and we'll teach you how to stack. And he was very confused because this is a person that's worked for all the major moving companies here in Vegas, but he's never worked for someone that empowers him to show what he's made of, and he didn't know he was possible that he had um, someone with the patience of men to show him on how to do something he lacked. Yeah, because it's just not something that's asked. Men are very closed um, because they don't want to be vulnerable. But in my company, I think you have to.
Well, and you spoke to that as well. Let's dive into talking about company culture. You talked about wanting to build a team of men,
Yeah.
wanting to build a team of quality men. So, I mean, you're out there inspiring with your organization. Let me ask you this question: what inspires you? What has you get up in the morning? How do you start your day?
Well, when I get up in the morning, I'm thinking about, wow, look at all these people have gone through my life. I sit up straight in my bed, and then I'm thinking, hey, there's been some people that have done some bad things to us. I can't let the bad guys win. Let's go out and get it. And this is when I'm feeling happy, when I'm feeling sad, because sometimes I might feel sad. Sometimes I might even be mad. But after that, I give it 5 seconds of thought, and then I go straight into my emails with a positive mindset to replace whatever I had 1 minute ago when I was still in bed.
No, I understand. I like to think be intentful. Be
Yeah,
intentful.
exactly.
Be
Well,
in a little bit of control of your own life, and you've created things like a business. You've created families, businesses, whatever other choices and hobbies you've got in life. And those are going to take up time. Each choice that you make and create, you just added time that's taking away from your 24-hour day,
yeah,
right?
and Jeff, to answer your question, because I didn't answer it fully, I started my day with that, but inspiration comes from sports. I'm a big sports fan, so part of my company's logo, if you see it on top right corner, you'll notice that it looks like a jersey font, and that's very intentful. And the reason is because I want to show you that we're sending a team of professionals that's kind of like a soccer club, a football team, a baseball team. One thing they all have in common is, you notice how in training they all have sweat grays. It's called heather gray. That's the name of the color. Whether you're in a military branch, you're playing any of those sports, they all have a version of heather gray shirts. And the crew leaders are going to wear a polo like this. Sometimes a crew leader may step down, and on this job they'll go ahead and wear a gray shirt. So this way you could identify, hey, who's going to be leading my job, because it should be very noticeable without saying, hey, what's up, Joe? My name is Tony, and I'm the crew leader for your job. You could just say, hey, what's up, Joe? My name is Tony. It's nice to meet you. Hey, my name is Brandon. Whoever is going to be following after that. That's one of the little things, because customers pick up on those, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's just handing me the clipboard, kind of like their coach, and having me sign in and sign out. This must be the crew leader. This is the guy that's calling into the office to collect the rest of the balance. This must be the crew leader. This guy that's coaching these people, not bossing them around, because there's a difference. This must be the crew leader because he's giving two different things, and I hear them, and they're very well mannered, and they're even saying thank you and please and all the little things, and remember my name. So that's what makes us a cut above the average moving company.
Right on, right on. And let me ask you this: what is your vision for your company in the future?
Well, my vision is 7 trucks, named after every single day of the week. That's going to be the first goal, and then a couple years after that, I'm looking at 2032 now is when we will expand the Reno. I got to expand the Reno because our colors are blue and silver, just like the University of Nevada Wolfpack, and that's where me and Kathy had went to school, and um, and then we'll send wonderful teams out there, just like the books that I read and I hear about, because I listen to autobiographies of some of the most uh, controversially mired people like Ed Ogeron, Bobby Knight, uh, nice guys like Pete Carroll. These are all championship winning coaches, and such players that you hate or love. I want to find out why I love these people or why I hate them, but I can find a way to still respect them as well. And I think that with leadership capital, one thing I spoke about as well is during that meeting, Jeff, I remember I said sometimes a customer may not like us too, but we have enough leadership capital with them that because they know we do such a good job, maybe you don't like me or Kathy, maybe you don't even like my guys, but you like that your house isn't damaged. You don't like our price, but you like how you could depend on us. That's
And
important
I
stuff, right?
might argue with you that it's awful hard to make you not likable. In if all those things are covered, those two things almost don't go together. So to say that anybody might not like anybody that had great leadership capital, I don't know if those two things add up. So,
Okay, yeah,
but
I could be wrong. So sometimes I overthink the what customers say because me and Kathy always wonder when we look back and forth at each other, like saying, "Hey, are you okay? Am I okay? Is the customer okay? What's going on here?" So sometimes it could be just overthinking because we happen to be too over analytically overthinking people.
I'm gonna throw a guess down range here. I'll even place a bet on it that you're going to be expanding into Reno before 10 years, before 9 years comes up. But 20. Would you say 2032?
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
beat
that's
that.
that's
You'll
what I
beat
was.
that time frame.
Okay, yeah, that would be awesome. But at least I know that the mark for us would be when we hit our seventh truck, and then we would need to start looking for more talent over there. Right now, we need to weather this market for what we have, and I'm not going to make excuses for why we sometimes are not busy all the time, or sometimes if we can't cover for all the jobs. It's a really tough thing to do to have a home service business where deadlines are not easy for like the handyman because sometimes they only have one day they're flexible or they only have like 4 or 5 days and they're looking to book with you like within 2 weeks. So we don't just throw people onto a truck and put on a shirt and said, "Hey Jacob, I want you to come on and you're a warm body. Let's see what you got." A lot of moving companies have been very, very successful doing that type of stuff, but we train our guys before they're even allowed on the job with a veteran, and so this
I got
means
you.
people that have experience and they get fed up with the program, which I'm not sure why. They do get paid for it after all. They say, "Nope, I don't want to do this type of thing. This is not the type of company I want to do. It's too organized for me. I'm out of here."
You're talking about hires, new
That's
hires
right. Yeah.
in that
Uh,
context.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because
I would highly. I'll dive right in here and excuse the interruption, but this
yeah,
is something I've fairly recently embraced, probably through a lot of lessons of being too casual. And the phrasing is, you try to disqualify your applicant, and if you can't disqualify your applicant, describing the lifestyle of your business, then you got a pretty good fit. You should,
yeah. We,
at
we
least
let
to
them know the
start.
expectation. So sometimes it
You
surprises
have
me
to.
that they forgot
I think it's
what I told
irresponsible
them.
not to.
So,
Yeah.
but then again,
No.
I also get it. When you're at an interview, it's pretty exciting because you're like, man, is he gonna select me? Am I gonna get hired? Is this where I finally get to do where I'm getting this job where I'm getting big tips and being able to see nice houses? I mean, all those things are really, really nice. But if your intention is not pure, like to go and take care of the customer first, those things are never gonna happen. So I was,
Whoop, look out.
you got it too, huh?
We got looks like we got a little emergency storm warning on our podcast here. But Tony, I might also add that the excitement's got to be twofold, tenfold for the employer, the manager, whatever as well, because now you're getting that new individual that's either doing one thing. They're either replacing or expanding the business. They're replacing somebody that wasn't there, that was there. You're replacing, or you're expanding on it. So you're able to leverage and do more. So the human resource departments in the bigger companies, bigger corporate, you're a human resource with your company 100%. So, well, Tony, let me do this. Let me let you get back to moving some heavy pianos. I'm gonna put up a banner here. Tell us a little bit about your one bedroom special.
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday, if you're looking for, of course, no holidays, and as long as we don't already have a move booked, then we're looking at a job that's below $500, and this is inclusive of 3 hours with us, and we're gonna bring you a 26-foot box truck that's equipped with all of the dollies, the straps, the blankets. We'll provide all the shrink wrap, and uh, and as long as like I said, on weekdays, and you have a certain amount of inventory, just give us a call so this way we could explain more about it. And myself or Kathy, we'll be able to do a on-site consultation or to do it online, kind of like in this format with a video call, and we'll send you a quote. Just to let you know one more thing as well, and the audience over here, if you do book with my group at 87 Movers, we do take large deposits, and that's larger than any moving company here in Nevada that I'm aware of. In fact, my friends that have crews as well, they tell me that I'm crazy and I'm a shark and all, and I'll take it with a grain of salt, and in fact with a badge of honor, because what that means to you is that there's no hidden charges. I take 3 hours plus any one-time arrival fees up front, so this way you know for sure that what you're getting is what you're going to get at the end of the bill. We charge you the balance if it's past the 3 hours, of course, and also you're going to know that we're fully committed. If you need to cancel for any reason at all, you'll have 24 hours prior to the date, so really 12 midnight before the day of move when we call you up. And as long as when we show up and you don't kick our guys out, you're not going to lose half your deposit. And some people may not think that's fair because, believe it or not, there's been a few people who said, wait, I want my full deposit back, but really they didn't answer the phone. So we thought everything was okay. So just keep that in mind because we're going to work with you. People love us. You might love us back too.
Well, I'd certainly hope so. All right, Tony, I appreciate you coming on, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of My Smart Podcast, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Tony, I'll see you soon, and I appreciate what you're doing with your company and in the community.
Okay. Hey, Jeff. All right. And one more thing I want to tell the audience too. Give us a follow on Instagram, and also show up to Container Park in October. We're going to be helping out with the Maui fires as well. Again, my guys had a wonderful time over there. I'm getting them to buy more raffle tickets, but last time I made a mistake and I didn't buy enough gift cards. So this time we're going to do it a little bit better and a little bit bigger. And now that I know that there's a lot of support for these people, and we want to help back the community too. So help us help the community, please.
All right, and you're talking about the Lahaina fires there.
That's correct. Yeah, we don't know what the date exactly is in October, but I heard it's going to be a '90s theme. So for my fellow millennials, make sure you wear those NSYNC shirts. Make sure to get those Converses. I know you have them in there somewhere. Because we moved them for you, and you millennials are actually one of my majority customers, believe it or not.
All right. All right, Tony. We'll get back to work. Go move some pianos. And
Okay.
I will see you soon, my friend. And yeah, take care, bud.
All
see
right.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.